So, I wonder if you have ever felt betrayed. Betrayal is is an experience that really makes us feel very strong emotions and it creates many thoughts. Thoughts that can be quite destructive, can be quite intense. It is intense if we it causes physical pain, not only emotional. It can cause physical pain when you really feel betrayed by your friends or partner or even parents or children or colleagues. I felt it in my chest and my throat mostly. I felt it in my shoulders. I felt it in my chest and my throat mostly. My shoulders felt tense, very tense. I remember reading at the beginning of this year, I think it was the 10th of January, um, some message that be careful because this is the period of time where you can experience betrayal, and it doesn't have to come from your partner, it can come from your friends, etc. And I remember that thought, that probably has nothing to do with me. I shouldn't be worried that I will be betrayed by anyone else. I started thinking, who might betray me actually? Who could talk behind my back and why? My back and why? And here, and here it happened. It happened, and it actually happened by someone who had betrayed me in the past, but I somehow felt like giving that person another chance and feeling like, people change. So, and that betrayal, when it happens, you feel cheated, you feel used. When you feel that, remember, you're safe. Such betrayal teaches us we need to know when to let go, when to let go, when to stop, when to let go of relationships that don't serve us anymore. It's a beautiful lesson. It's painful when it happens, but when you think about it, it's a beautiful lesson if we are willing to accept it, if we are open for it. It's a beautiful lesson. It's painful when it happens, but when you think about it, it's like they say, believe when a person shows you true colors. Believe that person because actions speak louder than words. And sometimes we want to, we want to show that, give that another chance, and show that I'm gonna, see the goodness in that person. And there's nothing wrong about that. We can see the goodness in another person. But how many times are we going to allow that person to take advantage of us, to cheat us, to talk behind our back? There needs to be a moment where we say, stop. When betrayal happens, it feels exhausting. And when I feel exhausted, it's like my body gives me a signal, Kasia, it's time to rest. It's time to rest. And what is interesting, I I say to myself, Kasia, why don't you see yourself in them? Why don't you see yourself in them? What does it mean? Like, how can you see yourself in them? Like, you think, I would have never betrayed. But then when we open our hearts and open the space, it's not about, you know, when I say see yourself in them, doesn't mean we would behave the same way, but every person is just another human being, and we've got our weaknesses, we've got our strengths. We won't always react to our best. We sometimes will do something that is disappointing, but like have courage to an openness and like an open mind to be able to see the human being within or behind that layer of their behavior. So they're more than that behavior. Even when we feel hurt, that person is still more than. That person is not just that behavior. So seeing that human being, and so that kind of allows us to forgive and move on. Forgive and move on. But it doesn't change the fact that when somebody betrays us, we feel judged. And naturally, when we feel judged, we want to judge. That's like a natural reaction. It might be like, an um, an immediate reaction. I want to judge because I feel judged. But just because we have that impulse, it doesn't mean we have to act on that impulse. We can feel that impulse and say like, because when we feel judged, we want to judge because that's like a self-defense mechanism. We want to like judge because we want to release the pain, relieve the pain, make it not hurt so much. But I look at that betrayal also through the perspective of cosmic energy. We are in the year of planetary shift, and I see it a little bit like a purge. Era of authenticity starts. Era of authenticity, and together with authenticity, the era of truth. You know, when when we also are able to see through people, and we are able to stop the mistreatment. Finally, maybe for the first time, maybe we were not able to do it before, but now all of a sudden we feel that we can do it. I like to speak to angels at that point. At that moment when I felt betrayed, I said, short prayer, dear angels, let the truth speak up. Let me find forgiveness. Let me find grace. Let me find strength and not make this mean anything about me. And my only question was, have I been truthful to myself? Have I been honest with myself? Have I been acting the way that is aligned with my inner values? When we feel betrayed, we have to connect with ourselves even more. We have to look within us rather than without. Look inside rather than outside. What do you see? Look inside rather than outside. You feel betrayed. Because that betrayal means nothing about you. It doesn't mean you were naive. It doesn't mean you were trusting too much. No, you can't trust too much. You can only trust. And if the person decides to take advantage of that trust, that's the choice of that person. Everybody has got their choice. They have the power of choice. They can choose, but we have choice too. So, as Mel Robbins, I'm actually reading her book now, Let Them, it's the title of the book. Just like she says, let them. So when somebody betrays you, speaks behind your back, says untruthful things about you, let them. And when you feel betrayed, it doesn't mean anything negative about you. This just means that that person made that choice. That person chose to act the way he or she acted. We don't have to make it mean anything. It doesn't have to mean anything. It will mean we give things meaning. So it will mean what we make it mean. Well, what meaning can I give it? I remember my initial reaction was like, how could she do that? After all those years of friendship, how could he do that? I thought we've been building a deeper connection than that. How could that have happened? And well, it did. It did. And as much as it hurts, it's important to understand it. It means nothing negative about me. And that person probably has never been a true friend. If that person chooses to speak behind my back and say negative things about me or even laugh at me, and I find out about that from third person. It's not so much about what they said, it's what do I make out of it? How can I use that to empower myself? Isn't it, isn't it, it almost sounds ironic. What do you mean, Kasia? Like, use that to empower yourself? You've been just betrayed. Are you stupid? No. That betrayal can be extremely empowering if I choose it to be, because it teaches me. It teaches me how to put boundaries. It teaches me how to read the signs, teaches me how to react quicker next time it happens. Oh, it does. It teaches me to be truthful to myself. It teaches me a lot about me. And it teaches me that I don't have to change just because somebody betrays me. Um, I can still be me. That's the choice of that person to break the trust. And that's my choice. I let that person do whatever he or she wants to do. But now I take the power as well and I make a decision. Where do I want that betrayal to take me? Do I still want to invest into this relationship or do I want to let go? Am I ready to let go? So I let that person react the way he or she acted, but now I take the power and I make a decision. What do I want to do? Do I want to continue? Do I want to break it? And when I break that relationship, I can do it with grace rather than anger or bitterness or sorrow. I don't have to be sad. It can be a moment of triumph, of celebration. How? Because, you know, as long as we stay truthful to ourselves, it doesn't really matter what somebody else did. And if that person decides to betray us, cheat us, lie to us, that's their values. They only show the true colors of that person. It doesn't mean anything about me. I asked myself, did I have good intentions in this relationship? Yes. Have I trusted that person? Yes. Am I surprised the person acted the way he or she did? Yes. Okay. How can I move forward from here? And I choose to move forward with grace, with love to myself. I choose to love myself unconditionally. I don't have to fight. I don't need to ring that person and say, how could you have betrayed me? How could you have said things that are not true about me? I don't have to do any of that. No. I can just let it go and let it be. And that opens up the space for new relationships, for relationships that I want to build on the foundation of trust, built on the foundation of care. So that opens the space for that relationship built on trust and care. But now I am wiser. I am wiser because of the experience that I've just had. So I know that the new relationship, I might read the signals quicker. I might make it clearer to that person that there are some boundaries that I am not going to uh, allow to be crossed. But those boundaries is also the element of showing how much we love ourselves. Because as long as we love ourselves, then we won't be then we won't be clinging to the relationship that brings us pain and betrayal. We will let it go. Why? Because we know that my company, I know that my company is enough. I don't need that person in my life. But if I crave for people in my life, if I don't feel good enough with myself, then I might be in a dangerous position, maybe even opening the space to some dialogue and conversations in the situation where now it starts becoming toxic. So when people show their true colors, well, let them, let them, let them show the true colors and let them go. Let them go. Follow your path. Work in silence. Focus on your goals. Focus on your dreams. Let them and let you make choices that bring you joy and peace. And don't get bitter. Don't think like, well, I got betrayed once, everybody's going to betray me now, so I'm gonna trust less. Don't do that. Don't let other people affect your pure heart and your faith in goodness in people, because there are many good people. There are many good people that also look for that kindness in others. Believe that. Don't lose the hope just because somebody has different set of values that completely don't match yours. This is what happened when somebody betrayed us. They're capable of that. That means their values are different to ours when they betrayed us, and it hurts, right? Set the course and focus just on that. Follow your intuition, follow your heart. Don't feel less than. And if you ask the question, why does it happen to me? Or why does it often happen to me? Or why has it happened to me again? Okay, if that question comes to mind, ask, how much do you love yourself? Do you give more of yourself in fear that you won't be loved? Are you looking for connections to feel loved? Or can you feel loved in your own company? I'm not saying stay a hermit and don't socialize, but this is a fundamental question to ask. Do I feel loved when I'm on my own? If you don't, ask yourself what you can do to feel loved when you're on your own. That's very important. Because when we love ourselves when we are on your own, then we open ourselves for love, which is not hungry love, but aligned love. Hungry love, what is hungry love? Hungry love, in my opinion, is the love when we don't feel loved in our own company and we feel that pressure of finding someone that will confirm, that will prove it to us that we are good enough, that we are lovable. That's what hungry love is. And when we have that, that often leads us to letting our boundaries be pushed. But sometimes we can be betrayed, even by at the moment when we are completely in love with ourselves. We love ourselves and we know it. We can be betrayed still. That happens. And again, it can happen when when people thought that we are naive. So they saw our purity of heart as naivety, as being naive rather than kind and with open heart. And you know what? I realized also that some people have been hurt so much that they are scared to be vulnerable. Some people have been hurt so much, some people have suffered so much in life that they are scared to open up, that they are scared to open up their heart. And they see like they lost trust to anyone. So when they experience some kindness from others, they don't believe it, that it's real, that it's true, that it's genuine. It's almost like it's too good for them to be true. This is what really hurt people. um, Believe in. And when it's too good to be true, your kindness might be read as manipulation. Your kindness might be read as being naive, but that's their choice to see it that way. They have right to that choice. They have absolute right to believe that if they want to. Um, we won't necessarily change their belief. And if they don't believe our kindness being genuine, again, it's got nothing to do with us. It's their choice based on their life experiences, based on their pain. And we will, it's not our job to convince them that, there is something like unconditional love, that there is something like kindness. It's not our job to do that, you know? So, yeah. Yeah, I think that's the lesson I've learned throughout the years, that when someone betrays you and you've been showing nothing else but goodness of heart, when someone betrays us and we've been showing nothing else but goodness of heart, it doesn't mean that we were not good enough and our kindness was misinterpreted. It basically means that that person who does not take our kindness for what it is has been hurt so much that he or she stopped believing in pure kindness, unconditional kindness. And instead of seeing it for exactly that, they might see it as a threat or a kind of manipulation or even a weakness. I was in the past accused for being weak or called being weak because I was kind. But kindness is not weakness. Kindness that comes from our heart, kindness that is not dictated by the need to be accepted, but is pure kindness because that's one of our values. It's not a sign of weakness. Kindness can be read as weakness only when we feel that we need to stop being ourselves and we need to put that kind of persona of super sweet, even when someone does disrespect us, and we still tolerate it and accept it and don't show the boundaries. That actually means that we're hungry for love. But when you get betrayed, let them, and let you find that peace within you, and let you connect with that kindness and love that is within you. And look in the mirror, look in your eyes, and say, I love you. And with this betrayal, there is a space made, a space that is an invitation to a new relationship, new friendship. It's a space inviting a new person to come to my life with my focus on the values that are important for me. So that can be also a very cathartic moment, purifying, inviting new people to your life and inviting you to love yourself even more. I wish you a beautiful day. I go back to my painting, which is almost finished. And if you have any thoughts about betrayal, let me know what they are. If you have any questions, let me know. And I will see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.